Okay, welcome everyone. We have a couple of guests. Thank you for coming. This is big for us to have.
Right, we don't get us too often.
What is your name?
David,
David.
last name is Chacon, C-I-C-C-O-N-E.
I knew that. I know who you are.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to recognize that Roxanne McCaffrey has resigned. We wish her well. And then most unfortunately, Jack Remley has resigned, which is a sad thing for all of us. We all started up after COVID together. Jack has been a big, big part of our team. He was my tech guy. Now poor Andrea is going to take over for that. He's our brilliant, organized mind and our detail guy. We don't have our detail guy anymore. Jack, if you're watching, we love you. We'll miss you. You've given us so much. He has agreed to sing for us still. So we're thrilled with that we have Jack is back with his music. So thank you, Jack, for all you did for us. Now we need to approve the July minutes. Anybody have any thoughts on the July minutes? Okay, I move to approve.
I so approve.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, you can't make the motion.
I can't. Okay, because I've seen others that do make the motion.
Really?
Yeah,
When they're the chair, we don't do that.
okay, all right.
So, all right, so Diane and Ron seconds. Okay.
We'll go over, since we didn't have an August meeting, I have the director's report from August, and we'll go through that piece by piece so we can catch up. The foot care nurse. The director had a lot of information here. And I found it a little bit confusing. I don't know if you have any of that in front of you, but anyways, it's left up to us, but I think there's concerns over who pays what, how much. And she did fortunately leave the name and number of the woman, so I'm going to get back with her. Okay, but they're suggesting on doing it the third Friday of every month at 9, but she requires a certain amount of people participating. Yeah, and she does, there's a minimum commitment of 4 hours, which would mean 8 customers. She does 2 customers per hour, so they're half-hour appointments. The money details I need to clarify with her. And it requires a council on aging person to book the appointments, collect payment. So we'll table that for now until I get more information. The monthly shopping transportation is a no-go. That wasn't pursued. And there are transportation issues, period.
Did have somebody at Heaton Court ask me about the Marshall's trip, because I put that flyer out as, interest. Was there interest?
And did Roxanne produce that?
No, I did it.
Oh, okay.
1, 2, 3, I had 4. Okay.
Did you put a date on that?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Just looking for interest.
Oh, okay, and you had one person.
Yeah, we're not sure of the 4. I have 4 people, but somebody just called me and said, when are we going to do it?
Oh, so there is interest.
I had 4 people for the Marshall's Plaza.
All right, then I will call transportation down in Great Barrington. Yeah. All right. The watercolor workshop, there wasn't, Roxanne wrote that the woman's name is Lexi Weiner. And Roxanne at that time was waiting for a call back. And I had written next to it for August meeting, call her back, call her back. So I don't have her number, and we have not, Teresa has not been able to find a number also. So that's tabled for now.
I have it because she called me too, if you want me to.
Oh,
forward it to
okay.
you.
All right. Yes, yes.
And I wasn't going to pursue doing anything at Heaton Court until you guys decided whether you were doing it here.
Right. Okay. Good, good, good. Progress. The Isle of Shoals trip went very, very well. She had a full bus. They had a great time. I talked to Nancy this morning about, now I cannot talk about a future trip here and leave it to open forum, or what's the?
Yeah, is there one being planned? Are we talking about planning one?
We are talking about planning one, and I will give that information now. A bus trip to Radio City in New York.
At Christmas?
No,
No?
that's what I thought it was going to be, but it's going to actually be November 27th, which is the Monday
Close
of.
enough.
I know, but it's the thing that I wonder about, it's Thanksgiving weekend, Monday after the long weekend, and how many participants will we have? Now, it's $199 per person. It includes the bus and driver with gratuity, the escort, the same, snacks, tickets to Radio City. It includes lunch for $199. So that's good. The big catch with this is Radio City is requiring a $650 deposit from us. If we don't get a bus full of 40, we lose our $650. I don't think that's very nice of them. I mean, it's not like they wouldn't sell these tickets.
I know, they're
Yeah,
always
right.
full.
Bon appetit.
There's Laura. Good morning.
Good morning, I'm having breakfast.
We see. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Okay, so $650, non-refundable. I think that's steep. And do we want to commit $650 if we don't get a bus full? And
how many
it's
is
flu
it?
season, it's COVID season, it's all getting ramped up, and I'm a little nervous. Are we okay with possibly losing $650?
I'm not.
No.
That's steep.
What about another spring trip?
Well, and that's what I said. I said, you know what, maybe we should not do this and plan something for the spring when we don't have all these viruses and everything else.
Yeah.
Andrea, what do you think?
You know me, I'd send out a flyer to see how many people were interested ahead
But
of time.
time is not on our side.
Yeah, you're right. It's November
Time
27th.
is not on our side with this. We are trying to crunch this in.
Yeah, you could always plan it next year, Christmas time.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Now, the Christmas show, you probably get a sellout crew, because I understand it's one heck of a program.
Oh, it's a beautiful program.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done it once on a bus trip.
Done it once.
And it's-
Yeah.
Yeah, there's buses pulling up.
So maybe
I
we should,
can't imagine they're looking for people or are afraid they're not going to fill their house.
right. I think it's, a bit catty of them. So we're gonna not do it. Agreed? We don't have it in for a technical vote, but
Agree.
let's, okay, all right, I'll let Nancy know. And I asked for her honest opinion too, and she felt that, yeah, it won't break her heart if we cancel this one, so.
Okay.
Sad to see, I was kind of excited that I was gonna go,
It is fun.
yeah. Farmer's market coupons went well. Do you have anything on the status of that?
No, as far as I know, everybody that wanted them or requested them received them
Good,
until they ran out. We have a
Good.
couple people right at the end.
okay, great. We have a new veterans agent, Tom Beasley. Roxanne said she had a brief conversation with him when we were prepping for the August meeting. I'll get his number and call him. I would like to have him as a speaker.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, if he's willing. So I will approach him about that. A matter of balance status, that was the 6-week, 8-week course that Roxanne started. She was trained in it, and then she had an elder services person with her. There needs to be two. Unfortunately, Roxanne is no longer here, and she could not she needed another volunteer to be trained up at Elder Services to pull off a next session. And she couldn't find anyone. So I say, I would be willing to take it, but I think we have so much up in the air right now that we should wait until we have a new director.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sound good? Okay. The ukulele program class.
How'd that go?
I went and visited with them Monday night.
It was Monday night.
Yeah. And they are a fun group. They play their ukuleles, and I learned more about ukuleles than I ever knew. And they sing, and they sing everything from Beatles to old time stuff. And
So people would enjoy it?
I think people would enjoy it. Now, here's my real treat with this. I convinced them to come next Wednesday for our luncheon. We're feeding them pizza and ice cream, and they're going to play for us. So, and that adds 9 to 10 more people to our pizza count.
Oh, that's good.
So are they, I have a question about the ukulele program. Are they using the space to practice, or are they offering lessons?
No, none of them are qualified. What happened is they were doing it, I think, through Berkshire South. And I could have some of this a little mixed up, but the teacher is no longer there. And these are the students that just picked it up on their own and love it. In order to use our senior center, they have to open it up to the public. So, and they've advertised that as so. And Roxanne did also in Carol Owen's community newspaper. So people can go and listen. I went and listened. It was a lot of fun. They are willing, if any ukulele players want to join them, they're welcome. If they have somebody that wants a little guidance, they're very nice, fun people. They would give guidance, but they are not professionals to teach.
Okay.
So a way of thanking us for using our senior center, they are going to play for us.
And they will not charge us?
No,
Most people charge us.
I know, but they're using our building. This is, they use our building.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
yes.
No, that's wonderful. That's
Yeah,
a great
yeah.
arrangement.
So it'll be fun. So we're going to have Pat Flynn give her presentation from 11 to 12. Pizza and make your own Sunday be 12 to 1. And then we'll have them play for a little while at 1.
Right.
A good time will be had by all. The blood pressure clinic has been canceled at Heaton Court and here, and that's not any fault of our own. It's the nurse won't come if there's only one person. It's not.
blame her.
Exactly. So for now, that has been canceled. New business. We all set with all the old business and July report, and we all good? Okay. New business, September speaker series, I already discussed that, starts at 11. Folks that may be listening, you do have to call in to the senior center phone. It is 298-4170, extension 263, to reserve, because we need to know how much pizza to order and how much ice cream to get. October and November speaker series for discussion. First of all, I won't be here for the October one. How do you all feel about that? You guys will run the show without me.
How can we do it? Yes, I'm sure we will
All right.
manage.
All right, so we still need to decide. I, of course, don't have a speaker. Roxanne had lined up the actual ukulele players were going to be the guest lecturers, but we've got Jack coming back. Our music band is coming back for October, so that's why I convinced them to do next week for us, and then we'll have Jack. We want Jack back.
Is there anything Jack could talk about that would interest people? I mean, his past
You know what? That's a great
Musical.
idea. If he's willing.
If he's willing.
He lived in New York.
Right.
Right. That's a good thought. I will ask him that.
Okay.
Think about others. Do you have any more thoughts on lecturers or?
Do you want to try to book the veterans for October? Tom Beasley?
I will try. Yes.
Okay.
We discussed the Radio Music Hall bus trip. And then we have under new business, where do we go from here? We need a new director, obviously, and I'm working in the background towards that, but nothing to announce. We have an opening on the board.
Wait, can I go back 1 second to November?
Yep.
Are you going to have Jack do the Alice's Restaurant again?
Yes,
Okay.
Jack is on board for Alice's
Okay.
Restaurant. We have community people that participated in last time, including David Chacon and his lovely wife, and I hope they do that again. Love the hats. So yes, we will definitely do that. And maybe for November, we could even just make that make it a, not even have
Yeah.
a lecturer.
Yeah, I think
Right.
that's a good idea.
Because that was
That's
timely
long
and
enough.
fun and is that when we made pies? No, we made pies for something else.
No, we had pumpkin pie at that
We
one.
did
Did we have
pies
pumpkin
for
pie?
that.
Okay.
Do we have soup at that one too?
Was that the soup and pie?
Probably.
Maybe. We'll think about that. We'll think about that. The food, we can always wing it. You good so far?
Yep.
Okay.
Where do we go from here? Not to start anything new until you get a director on board?
Well, actually, Chris being Chris, I have ordered through Michael the opposite day of bingo, which started yesterday, and they had a good crowd. So that's on Tuesday. On Thursdays, I would like to offer coffee and games. And so I put it in order with Michael through Amazon to get a couple of checkerboards, a backgammon board. I am learning backgammon, but I would not be capable of teaching. Obviously, I was at David and Karen's last night, and she's teaching me backgammon. I have a ways to go with it. She's very kind, patient teacher, but maybe we could even get Karen to come and help us out. She would love to. Backgammon's a fascinating game.
There might be people out there who
Exactly,
are
and that's what.
backgammon players.
Exactly. And I'm also getting Scrabble. The survey from, that Roxanne did do is people wanted games. So I might attempt that for October. It's a matter of getting the information out. For the flyers that we sent out this time, wonderful Patrick White, our selectman, did those for me. I am tech challenged, I choose to be. And so Patrick, Jack used to kind of help with those, and Patrick's on board to helping me more.
Okay, can I have this so I can put it up at Heaton Court?
Yes, you
Because I
can.
don't think we got any of this. Okay.
That's right. I need to make more copies. But I did see some of your folks on
I
her
have them?
mailing list, yeah, when we were doing the stickers for it.
I think the lady would like.
Oh,
She was
Laura?
She was waving.
She's muted.
I know, so how do I do that? Do I press that?
I don't.
No, I'm muted. No, I wasn't saying anything. I was just pushing a button on my iPad. But I did want to ask, when you're talking about board games, I don't want to interrupt your meeting, but do you have like card tables?
It's funny you should say that because the two sisters that live next to the library,
Exactly. I know.
they are willing. They have a very busy schedule. But originally I was talking with them a year or two ago about teaching bridge. So we can try to do that aspect too.
Right. I play bridge with them occasionally, and I think that would be nice to offer as an activity or as the space for board games, that you have a bridge table or whatever, and people could, if they already have a foursome, come there instead of going to someone.
Yes. So thank you for your offer, because your idea, because I would allow, I could allow a table for that. And that would just be a small card table, right? And it's 4 people playing bridge?
Exactly.
Okay,
We had some tables down in the senior center. What?
for 4, yeah,
Card table?
Yes, a card, well, they were set up permanently.
right. So thank you for the suggestion. I have some work to do on pulling that off. My big thing, once again, is getting it out to the public. So I'll be calling on poor Patrick White again to do that for me. And we need to update, Roxanne had started the site on, a Council on Aging site on the webpage, the town site. That needs to be updated. And either I or dear Patrick, if you're listening, need to get into that computer to add these kind of things to it. But I don't have a clue how to do that. So we need help on that part. Okay? Having said that, you all know now how much in need we are of a computer tech, and anybody out there that's willing to help, we welcome you. Okay, any more discussion on that? This kind of rolled into old business expansion of activities. I just discussed the board games. Communication assessment, I just whined about that. So anybody have anything more to add?
Are there no games or anything down in the community center room? I thought there were some games that.
There could be.
There could be. I wanted some new games.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, yesterday I set up the tables for bingo, and even some of our tables are not in good shape. And we're going to need more tables for our luncheon, so I do need to talk to Michael about that. But I do need to see, we may have a checkerboard there, but are all the checkers there and such?
Sure.
So we need to go through all that. And there are puzzles there too. We could maybe set up a corner in the puzzle table, for a puzzle table. You have that up at Heaton, don't you?
We used to, nobody's done it in a while, but we used to do it in our back room.
Oh, okay.
There.
Yeah. That might be fun if we advertise that anyone that's, even that day for board games, if anyone just wanted to be a part of the community, could go and work on a puzzle.
Work on a puzzle.
Yeah, great idea. Okay. Moving on.
Moving on.
Open forum. Laura, you're on.
Okay, I wanted to thank you. I wanted just to have a couple of thoughts, suggestions, is that you could use Stockbridge updates, I think, to just as just a way to get the word out with like little.
Oh, and I do. And I do, yeah.
Oh, great. I mean, and that's great. I mean, but that could be a place where you say, we're looking for someone with some computer skills to help us. It could be a place to say, if you have board games in good condition, send them over. Because I'm sure people have their own Scrabbles, things that they never use or whatever.
Right.
And I don't know how long that free time is, but again, the whatever it is, the drop-in time, free time for jigsaw puzzles or bridge or games, to have that there and just sort of publicize it. But I think that's a good thing to do. What I had a conversation, I'm sorry I didn't get this out to you earlier, but I had a pretty long, a half-hour conversation with Chris, and we just got to know each other. And
Yes, we did.
and which was really good because I'm just that kind of person. I care about the town, and I'm a senior, but I don't use the senior center. So I've been thinking about that. I've been floating things by other people of all persuasions, right wing, left wing, old, young, select board, Teresa, I mean, just people in the town and people who have strong opinions or not. And one of the thoughts that I had was that, and I know there's been push, I don't think that this is, these are suggestions, I guess, was I've often thought that the senior center, this isn't really for you guys so much, but it's for the town, but I want to float it by you too. It could be renamed the community center, And then the senior center could be at the community center. I mean, they could be one and the same, but I think that I think we need to sort of rebrand seniors, because people like me, even though I'm 75 and a senior, I think of myself as 30. And I think, oh, I don't want to go somewhere with old people. I still have that mentality. So if it's the community center, that's one thing. And because everyone in Stockbridge is a senior, if you open things to everybody in the community, you're going to get seniors, because that's who we are. And if you get more than younger people, then it's intergenerational and all the better. So that's my thought, is that, and then if you only get people in their 30s and 40s, then there's a different problem. But I think in the short or medium term, that's a good way to start to get more people involved in things, and some younger people to think about things as they age. So that was just a piece of that. I mean, I even went so far as to say the Council on Aging could be the Council on Aging and Community, because that's I think what the council is. So that's something to ponder, to push back on, or to have a conversation about. I just want to give you some of my other.
Excuse me, Laura?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
I did check with Michael.
Yes.
On how to go about doing that. The big issue with that is that if we make ourselves a community center, then we lose grants and funding from the Council on Aging. And that's a biggie. That's a biggie.
Right.
So as you said, if we make it senior center and however we word it, I didn't get into that kind of detail with him.
Right.
But it was pretty flat out. Council on Aging will not fund us if we are not in particular for seniors. For seniors in particular.
Okay. But it might be again, I mean, I can talk to Michael too. It could be that it could be the Council on Aging. It can be the senior center, but the senior center could be located at the community center. I mean, they're sort of minor, but they may make a difference. I don't know that. I don't say it's the be all and end all, but I don't know if the Council on Aging, can you open up activities to the community like you did with the ukulele?
The reason that's opened up with the ukulele is part of them using our room. Anybody that wants to use our room and doesn't open it up to the public needs to pay. They are opening up to the public, so they do not have to pay. And yes, it's, what is it, 6:30 at night on a Tuesday, nobody's using our senior center room. But that's the reason it's opened up to the public, so they can say, so they don't have to pay for the room.
Well, I think this might be a different conversation, but one of the reasons I think to change it, or to think about it as a community center and to think about those things, is because, for example, my neighbor has a 10-year-old, and she's saying, hey, there's no place for families and children. And then people don't think about the community center as a place where you could reserve the room to have a birthday party or something like that. I mean, and this might be a town issue, not a Council on Aging issue.
Exactly.
But I think that but if that's the space that people use, and we want Stockbridge to be more friendly and create community for everybody, I'm just thinking that that's a way to kind of have things, to start to think about some of those issues as a Council on Aging, with other problems that the town has,
Right.
or other things that wants to encourage. My ideas for activities were, I was thinking about, when I think about the people in Stockbridge and the issues that we have, I think one of the big issues is loss, that people are losing their spouses, their siblings, their children, that it could be, their friends, whatever, and that to have some kind of grief and resiliency group that's professionally facilitated, or a
Right.
support group, paraprofessionally facilitated. I mean, there are lots and lots of therapists in Stockbridge. There's Austin Riggs around the corner. I mean, I know someone who lives here, Cheryl Hutto. She does grief and resiliency work. So I think that I don't know if you need a grant for that, but I think that would be one thing that people might want to come into. And it could be, again, that you sign up for a certain number of sessions, or it could be drop in. When my husband died, I went up to to hospice for a few sessions. But actually, the facilitator wasn't very good. So I stopped going there. But I think something local could be really beneficial. And then whether it's targeted to a specific group or not, that would be find out what people want or need. The other thing I think people really need is just the same aspect of that, which is caregivers. That people who aren't grieving, they're caregiving. And they need support, and I went to and the other part of caregiving, many people may or may not be caring for people with dementia, and for a while I had a friend with dementia, and we would go up to Kimball Farms. They had something for the public, I don't think they still do, where the people with dementia did art with a trained activities person who was fantastic. And during that hour, all the caregivers went to another room and had a support group. And so they didn't have to worry about leaving or finding a babysitter or whatever for that person. That person was there and in good hands, and they could talk. And what do I do when the person is wandering? Should I go for a vacation? What am I going to do when I have to send them somewhere? I feel too guilty. I can't get them out of bed. Where people just talked about what was going on and didn't feel so all alone and got good suggestions from each other. So I thought that was a great model. And I think that, again, I think the Cultural Council could be a resource for definitely activities for the people with dementia, and maybe even for caregivers. So that was one other suggestion. And the other things I was thinking of, or just facilitated activities for people who, whether it's music or art or something. I think that something maybe, I don't know if you have this on meditation or mindfulness, where people just do that, as a part of it. It could, I don't know. And then I was wondering about maybe a singles night or a couples night, or ways to really get people to interact with each other, or some ideas. And then I sent a survey. I sent a survey to Chris. But just as you start to think about the needs of people, but when, as part of the Massachusetts Vulnerability Preparedness Project, we got a special grant to focus on housing, and we did a survey of people, and I think maybe 200 people responded, most of whom were seniors, about what their needs were. And it was, nothing stood out, except that everything stood out. 20 or 30% said they needed help with transportation, with social activities, with repair services, with housing, with power outages, with plowing and mowing and all of those things. So I would just suggest, let's look at that survey and then think about, are there informational resources or others that could be developed, even if it doesn't have to be endorsed, it doesn't have to be approved by anybody, but, something with a lot of disclaimers that'll pass legal muster, but starts to get the word out, whether it's taking down a falling tree or doing this or doing that, things that just can start to be a place to get started. And I think
Excuse me, Laura, did you say you sent me that survey?
I did. I sent it. It might have been last night as a.
Oh, okay, because I did not see it.
I know.
I would love to see it.
I thought I sent it as a draft. I thought I sent it, but I found it in my drafts folder last night, so that's when I sent it. And if you don't,
okay.
get it, I'll send it again. I sent you this this sort of memo of everything I've said is in what I sent you, so you can share it with the committee. So anyway,
Okay.
those are just my ideas. I think that finding volunteers is hard. I'm chair of the Green Communities Committee, so I know what it is to round up volunteers and to do all this, and to also have a setback like you've had with Roxanne, and to feel like you're starting all over. And as a volunteer, it's a lot. So nothing that I say is can be construed as, I hope you don't, as anything but just goodwill and suggestions.
Thank you, and we appreciate your suggestions, but as you just noted, we are a little overwhelmed right now.
Exactly.
With what has happened, and we have it all notated. I thank you. When we have a director, we will discuss it with the new director. We hope to have somebody on board in a timely manner. That having been said, there is bureaucracy involved. But we appreciate your thoughts, and I think we're looking forward now, once again, to a future of focusing on our seniors, making our senior center a welcoming, fun, assistive place to be. And all your suggestions very much work towards that. So thank you for your thoughts.
Right. I just think the biggest thing is something, I mean, we are seniors, we're getting there, but I think it's something about, what's a senior? If you're over 50, you're a senior, whatever it is, just, I mean, it's not a mindset. It's it has nothing to do with that, but to try to set, just to try to get.
Laura, I'm a senior also. I'm okay with it. I've earned it.
Okay. All right. Anyway, okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you for your time too.
All righty.
Yes, thank you.
Dawn, you have the floor. Let's introduce you.
The whole floor.
Dawn, would you like to stand or come sit up here to speak with us so that the public can see you?
I'm on the screen.
All right.
Okay.
Dawn is in the corner, everybody.
Yeah.
One of your name.
Don Romitile. I live at Eaton Court, gladly live at Eaton Court. I'm here to represent all the masses of people that are interested in having a yoga class on Monday morning and Wednesday morning that's been canceled. And I was told, not by somebody apparently, not by somebody in the Council on Aging, but somebody in the building that said that they canceled it because there wasn't enough people. It was stated that because there was only, at the time that they saw the class, there was only 3 people. There is sometimes as many as 7 or 8, but it ranges from 3 to 7 or 8. It's not always the same. However, when it was said that the teacher gets X number of dollars for the class, and they said that if there was only 3 people, it looked like individual 3 people were getting extra, they were getting extra money for just 3 people as opposed to having 7, or 10 is what they said they required. Now, I don't know the difference. She does the class brilliantly, whether there's 3 or 7 or 15 or 20. So I don't know why they would cancel a class just because there are 3. And I'm really surprised that all these people that would attend the class, they're not sitting in these chairs right now. But it's a surprise, but I know that I guess it's, I guess it's a level of commitment that is not apparent. I thought it was, but here we are.
Well, speaking of level of commitment, Antoinette, she was well aware that the numbers weren't there. And of course, the town committing that money, we wanted to get as much, I don't know, to put it in street language, bang for our buck for doing that. She herself is welcome to use our facility, and she could charge you a fee.
Yeah.
She could get paid herself instead of us paying her. We don't have any problem with you all going and having Antoinette teach you, and then you can pay yourself instead of the town paying her.
Why can't the town pay her?
Help here, Andrea?
It's,
Well, see,
It is.
if I look at it from this 80-year-old's perspective, I absolutely have benefited enormously. I'm actually sitting in this chair with arms because my arms are sore, as opposed to sitting in those chairs. And it's only because I haven't been to yoga class in 2 weeks. So and I ride my bike, I wouldn't ride today, but every day from a mile or two. And it's because I do the yoga class. Now, I have I'll give you a copy of the letter. I'm writing an article called Getting Old is New. It relates to all the old things, but most of the old things that show up, not because of chronology, but because of inactivity, lack of movement, lack of exercise, lack of health and wellness concerns, that they just kind of sit, watch television and wait to die. Now, that's not where I live, but and to get, given I see this, I'm going to find out what I can do to continue to be a member of something that speaks and talks about encouraging people to get active and out. I went to a meeting with the fire chief I think it was last year, and I was appalled the way they talk about old people. Like, they gotta be taken care of, they're in danger all the time, they're victims of this. That's not the age, I don't see that as an old person. I see myself as active and vital and vibrant. And I want to encourage that to be part of the community and of the town. And I'll do what I have to do.
We wholeheartedly agree with you. And when we have a director, we do want more activities. We want more physical, mental, everything. That was our goal when we hired a director, to get that. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. But there will be other classes, other ways, I promise you. But in the meantime, I don't know how much more accommodating we could be, given the decision that was made with Antoinette, to appease you all that Antoinette is still welcome to use our facilities and she can charge you a fee. That seems pretty fair.
Andrew,
Agreed?
sorry, I stepped on your tongue. You were going to say something?
I was going to say a couple of things when you had asked for some help. So
Yes, help.
how long has this class been going on? More than a year. And I have been asked and spoken to a couple of times about the numbers. And I know that we love that class at Heaton Court. I try to take it when I can, when it's up there. But the numbers are just not there. And that is the decision that was made. And we can think about, so Antoinette can come down here.
Absolutely.
But you see, excuse me,
And use it, and let me finish. And we can also think of maybe another way to present it, or present a program, something different days, different
Exactly.
times. All is not lost. We just might have to regroup and think about it.
okay, it appears to be lost for me, given what I've heard and what I've been told and what I've seen. So it's very disconcerting. I still can't get the idea of the numbers. One person, 40 people. What's the difference? The teacher's going to teach anyway. Now, I understand that we can pay, and I'm willing to pay because I want the class. If I have to pay, I'm going to pay. I don't know what it's going to be. If it's to make up I think the number was $50. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but that's something I got. And if we got to make up $50 with 3 people, that's outrageous. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get the idea about numbers, why they can't have somebody that's going to provide health and wellness matters that take care of the seniors for $50 an hour. I don't see that that's a problem. If I had it, I would pay her.
Well, Dawn, let me ask you this. She's serving generally 3 people. I know I've heard the rumor of 7, but when I was taking it, there was, 3 or less. But that was a year ago. So maybe she has built up to 7 sometimes. But if we can using that time in our facilities, get another activity that's movement related that we can successfully provide for more people, why wouldn't we do that?
I don't know what activity you would have that would be comparable to what yoga provides for old people, the idea of movement and being limber and active.
Well, that's something for us to check into. You know, we can't just be closed-minded to this one person that provided chair yoga, that's right, yoga, for 3 people. I mean, if we can get and you're right, it's $50, if we can get an activity that also provides stretching and limber and, you know, who knows what's out there and what teacher is out there that may attract more people? Why shouldn't we be open to that instead of serving 3 people?
Here's a question.
Up to 5, so.
Can I make one question? Is there a resident contribution to the yoga class? Like,
Yeah.
there is one?
No, it's provided for free.
Okay, because I think in the past, weren't there like $5 copays for yoga classes or something?
Yep, I believe so.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there is a way to keep doing it, but have it be maybe Don would know better, but if there's if you have 3 people and that's $21 and then the town pays $25, maybe that's, you know, maybe she would be worth taking the risk of doing that, knowing that she'll get $7 a person, but she's only gonna get 25 from the town. Or I don't know if you can if you wanted, you can weigh in on that.
We can speak to Michael about that. You know, we're more than willing to do that. And for now, we have Antoinette gone for 2 months anyways. So, you know, we're open to more discussion about it, Dawn.
See, there's a distinction that yoga is that no other activity is, that most people don't even have a clue. There's an element in yoga that, like I said, doesn't exist in basketball and stretching and whatever other activities that you people know about. Yoga is unique and distinct in it, that it covers a whole lot more of the entire being of that human being.
Understood.
As opposed to just their biceps and their triceps.
Understood.
We will regroup and represent.
And we appreciate your thoughts, and you're taking the time and the effort to come in here and let us know your feelings about this. I mean, that's what we're all about, to have folks come in and.
Is there a source of money that I can look into to see if we can get this funded for the city?
I'm sure it's out there.
I'm sure it's out there, and could we refer him to? I mean, that's beyond our scope.
Let me put it out there. If anybody knows of something like that, I will do the presentation. I will do the activity. I will do the legwork. I want yoga here, period. And whatever I have to do, I'll do that.
I admire your commitment.
Yes.
Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see if Amanda can help you with that back at Eaton Court. Maybe Amanda has some ideas.
Okay, good, thanks.
Okay,
Thanks, Dawn.
I would also suggest the Cultural Council. I don't know if they would cover that kind of activity, but they might be a place to, again, do some cost sharing with the senior center to realize that, I don't know, it's the same money. But I think the question that Don is asking is a basic question is do you have a budget so that you can create, okay, we want to do this much for transportation. We want to do this much for things at Heaton Court. We want to spend this much for things at the senior center, you know, to plan things. You need to go on.
Excuse me, Laura, there is a budget. The previous director worked within a budget. I am not privy to that budget. And it's something that when I have needed money without a director, I run to Michael and say, hey, I need this. And I get it. So when there is a director in the future, but we as a board agreed that for lecturers for exercise uses, it would be a $50. That's an agreement between the board and Michael and the select board. So any working around that would be probably beyond our scope at this point. But that's a good thought too. You know, I don't know how flexible things can be.
Thanks for coming.
I'm leaving also.
Okay, so we've got some food for thought here. Again, we appreciate,
Poor cop.
Please make some coffee.
Thank you.
And thank you.
all right,
Thank you,
Don.
John.
And Laura, we appreciate your thoughts too. This is new and wonderful that we have people
Participate.
participating. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, we welcome ideas, grievances. Happiness would be good too, someplace in there. We are volunteers trying our best. Okay, having said that, are we good to discuss next meeting?
October 11th, 10 a.m.
October 11th at 10 a.m. here. And without any further ado, shall we close our meeting?
Make a motion to end.
Motion to end our meeting. Can I have a motion?
Make the motion. Oh, I make the motion. I made the motion.
Made the motion, I'm seconding it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Laura.